For Coach Lebby, David Murray from Gene Space 24/7. You repeatedly use the word out there, show. When you think of show in regards to college football, Mississippi State football, what are you implying?
Excitement, fun, energy, passionate, touchdowns, violent defense, and people that play with a ton of passion and a ton of toughness, and that's what I want our people to see on Saturdays.
Zach, Stefan Kresching, Clarion Ledger. For you, you're going through this process of the coaching search. What kind of stood out to you about Coach Lebby, and when did you kind of have the idea that that's the direction you wanted to go with?
Clearly, I've known of Coach Lebby for quite some time. I think anybody in this business knows and sees the type of person he is, the style of play he has, his ability to attract great people. I think when you have that kind of gravity around you, people take notice. So I think, we visited with a handful of candidates and met with some great coaches, but, throughout our process, it came back to Coach Lebby was the right person to lead our program at this time, and couldn't be more excited about where we're going. From a moment of clarity standpoint, say sometime in the Saturday time frame, knew Coach Lebby was our guy, and we're so excited to have him and his family here.
Coach Lebby, Paul Jones on 3. Process may have already started, but when do you plan on reaching out to commitments and recruits in this class?
Yeah, it actually started this morning, and will be nonstop for me tomorrow. Obviously, wanted to be able to have an opportunity to meet with the team last night, and had a bunch of player meetings today, but it's going to be immediate, be a full day of it tomorrow, and try to reach out to every one of those guys that are committed by end of the day tomorrow. So looking forward to connecting with them, connecting with their families, and talking about state and the direction we're going.
Jeff, Justin Fromer, Gene's Page 24/7. I wanted to ask you about your year you spent at Southeastern. Obviously, that was your first coordinator position. What did that do for you in terms of helping you develop as a play caller, as a coach, and help you rise through the ranks?
Yeah, I think what it did for me is it just I don't think brought me back down, but it gave me the opportunity to see it at the purest level. Those were young men and they were playing for one reason and one reason only. It's because they loved it, and it was an incredible reminder for me that it's about the players. It's about the locker room. It's about those guys, again, like I talked about outside, having this incredible college experience, and it looks a lot of different ways at a lot of different places. But I love the fact that those young men were incredibly prideful and thankful for their opportunity. And that's probably the thing that I saw there in the 6 months that I was in Polk County.
Jeff, John Sokoloff with WCBI, good to see you again. You've had a lot of success on the offensive side of the ball, especially these last 5 years, but, this is your first head coaching kind of opportunity. What makes you kind of confident that, you'd thrive in a role like this, and how are you kind of planning on adapting to a role like this?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and I actually mentioned this outside, but it's not just about me. It's about the people that we bring in the building. We've got incredible leadership of people that I can lean on as we move through this thing to be able to go put together an elite staff. And I do plan on putting together a staff that has incredible experience and knows exactly what it's supposed to look like in all 3 phases. And when we're going to be able to get the right people in the building is the timeline standpoint will be a little different depending on how a couple of things shake out, but very, very confident in the people that are going to be here, and obviously very confident in my approach and leadership ability to get these guys to go where we want them to
go. Steve Robertson with Gene's Page. I have 2 questions, one for each of you. We'll start with Zach. This process obviously was a relatively new one for you, as kind of being the lead dog, I guess, in this respect. What maybe did you learn about maybe yourself and your team as you navigated through this?
Yeah, it's a good question, Steve. I think anytime you go from a position of making recommendations versus decisions, I think there's a little difference there. But, as we've said before, like, I've just been blessed to be around some great leaders, some great people in this business that have shown me their processes, their ways to do things, and clearly you make your own spin on it. I also don't want to overcomplicate it. One of the first things we did, I'm a visual kind of a name type person, so we named this Operation Magnolia Rise. So that was our hunt. We wanted to go hunt the next head football coach of Mississippi State. So you understand the responsibility, the weight of these processes, but you also want to have fun as you're going through the holidays and you're going through, there's so many other dynamics with it. So, again, felt full confident, and we've got a great team of people around us. As I mentioned earlier, we've got, 3 of our deputy ADs that were really helpful in this process as far as screening, giving recommendations, giving their due diligence, and Joey Bailey, Terry Prentice, and Josh McCown were instrumental in helping throughout this. When you got great teams around you, it really helps make my job leading this program a lot easier.
Coach Lebby, you never know who you're going to end up working for in this profession, but you've been on the opposite sideline of a pretty important ball game around here. What's it like maybe coaching against Mississippi State, and now you're the coach at Mississippi State?
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm looking forward to continuing in the chair that I'm in. I know the importance of that game after living it for 2 years, but incredibly excited. I understand how prideful State is. I love the fact that our fan base wants that game is, more than any one of them. And, I think you can tell how passionate Dr. Keenum is when he talks about being state champs. So, again, sitting in this chair, I don't take it lightly. It's going to be a lot of fun. People in this state are going to have a lot of fun with that game, and I'm one of them.
Hey, Jeff, Robbie Fault from 247 Sports. We know about what you can do on the offensive side of the ball now that you're leading your own program. What does the defensive coordinator or defensive staff look like for you? What are you looking for on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to have a guy come in here that's done it and lived it and has great experience. And, again, I'll continue to talk about wanting to hire guys that know what it's supposed to look like inside this league. That's important. I do. I think this league is different than any others. And I want a guy that has had success and had a lot of different experiences being able to go put it together on that side of the ball.
Hey, Coach, Jack Byers from BulldogBlitz.com, Rivals. You made some comments earlier today just about, just embracing NIL and the transfer portal. Can you just talk about your approach to that just dynamic of college football just in these last couple of years? Yeah,
the biggest thing is just understanding that that's part of the game, and that's part of the game that we're coaching in, that we're playing in. So making sure that we're doing everything that we can, on both sides of it to put ourselves in positions of success on Saturday. Whether it be NIL or whether it be the portal, both those things are in play. And so making sure we're doing a great job of adapting to both of those things to create a roster that's going to give us chances to go win. And that, to me, that's my job. That's our job, is to build a roster that's got great competitive depth and great toughness. And through those two things, that's going to be part of it.
Coach Brian Haydad, Super Talk Mississippi. You made your name as a play caller throughout the years. Are you planning to continue calling plays here at Mississippi State, or do you think you'll turn that over to an offensive coordinator?
No, I will continue to call it. I think that's important for me as we get started in this thing, having one voice as we move forward, as we're putting together the staff, still having the ability to hire an offensive coordinator from a title standpoint to be able to take some of the day-to-day and be able to go have total control of some of the organizational things that go on with whether it be practice or game planning, so that I do have the ability to be a head coach. So he'll be an incredible extension of me, one that I trust, one that understands the system and has lived in it for sure.
Hey, Coach Lebby, Bradley Davis with WAPT Sports in Jackson. Good to meet you. So it seems like expectations are higher than ever for first-year head coaches. And Coach Matt Rule recently said that when you're taking a job, the expectations should match the commitment. So I just wanted to ask you, what do you think the expectations should be here at MSU, and what has been on the commitment side?
Yeah, I don't know if I should talk about what the expectations should be outside the building. I know what the expectations are going to be for myself and the players in the locker room, and that's to be as good as we can possibly, as fast as we can possibly be. We are truly going to be in a race against ourselves to see how good we can get before the first time we walk out into that stadium on a Saturday afternoon, and what that looks like. We'll determine how much success we have through the season. But that to me is what it's all about. Is, as simple as it may sound, finding ways to get better every single day to give us a chance to be as good as we can possibly be week one is going to be our focus. And it will be process driven over and over and over, as you get into it and you're into practice, if you don't like the result of how practice is going, it's probably because our process isn't right. So guys understanding that sooner than later, that's going to be important.
Hey, Coach, Tanner Marler on 3. You talked a little bit about what you've seen on the roster right now and that you like what you see. Is there anything in particular that stands out to you about what State currently has on the roster?
Yeah, I think we've got some pieces in place, and as I get more familiar with it, these next 3 days for me, after everything is settled down a little bit before we're able to go hit the road, will be really important from a knowledge standpoint of where our roster is at, and being able to watch, specific personnel cut-ups of every single position group of every single player on our team that's played more than 10 snaps. So that's what's going to happen over these next few days while getting on the phone with all of these recruits and understanding exactly where we're at with these guys, and also while meeting with every single player on our team. And right now the player meeting for me is not, it doesn't have anything to do with football. It's got everything to do with connection and those guys understanding, what the vision of the program is, how we're going to operate, and them understanding that they've got a head coach that's going to have, their back and is going to support them as they're on their journey.
Coach Patrick Talbot, WTOK in Meridian. Just a quick question. Coaches grow up in the game. They grow up under mentors and stuff like that. You've obviously had a ton of mentors, Brent Venables, Lane Kiffin. Just kind of talk about what are you going to take from some of those mentors as you step into this new role here in State?
Yeah, being able to take a little bit from everywhere I've been. I think that's important. As I sit here today, there's been a ton of success. Obviously, for me and for us personally, it's been on the offensive side of the ball. Been around some incredible offensive coaches that have given me the opportunity to lead and to grow and to put myself in this position. I mentioned this earlier. It truly is all about the players. I would have zero chances sitting here today if it weren't for some of the guys that, I've had the opportunity to coach. And to me, it's just a great reminder for people to get the opportunity to sit in this chair to make sure we are thankful for, and the ones that go out and do it and play the game every single Saturday. So incredibly thankful for everybody that I've been around. So many have a big part in this. Being back in my alma mater for the last 2 years obviously was important and special. And now obviously getting to sit in the seat that I'm sitting in right now is incredibly humbling. So excited about where we're at and where we're going.
Gracie Barr at WCBI. I have 2 questions for both of you, or a question for both of you, starting off with you, Coach Lebby. What has this welcome been like over the last 24 hours for you and your family, just talking emotions? And then, Zach, you were in this chair kind of not even a year ago at this point, making the same move from Norman to Starkville. What did you tell Coach Lebby when you were talking about this move that this university in Starkville could do for him?
Yeah, for me and my family, I've said it a couple of times, but it's been humbling. Just the support and the energy and the fan base has just been on fire, and I absolutely love that. And you talked a little bit earlier about taking advantage of how excited our group is right now and making sure we're doing everything we can as we push forward to capitalize on the momentum that we have as we sit here right now. Zach gave me some great advice last night, and he said, man, just take it all in, enjoy it. Never, ever, ever again will I have the opportunity to be a first-time head coach, much less at a place like State. And so being here and being able to set up shop with my family and have great roots here is exciting for me. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been humbling, and I'm incredibly excited.
Grace, I think easy to share all the great things that happen right here. And I think it starts with a great place to raise a family. We've got passionate fans, great student athletes. That's one of the things that I know Jeff and I talked about is when you get here, you realize how good our student athletes are, how hungry they are to get better. We've got a world-class staff, and that's always helpful. And then clearly having the alignment. For us to be successful in anything, you've got to have that alignment. Great food. There's a lot of good food here. Great people. So I think once you start talking about Starkville, Mississippi, you don't have to sell it because it is what it is. The facts speak for themselves. It's a great place to live, great place to raise a family, and great place to coach at. And for me, I'm just overjoyed to be able to get to work here every day.
Coach, how you doing? I'm Rion Young from 24/7 James Page. We know that you're a great offensive mind, and we know that one of the first leaders that you need on the team has to be the quarterback. Do you have any thoughts on that or the style of quarterback that you're looking for?
Yes, as we work through this, we'll be able to go get, a guy that we need. I think we're going to address that position, obviously, through the portal. We also have got a couple of guys on campus that I am incredibly excited about to be able to put us in a position to go compete and have a healthy competition this spring. That's important, but as we move forward, from a quarterback position, we want guys that can do both, be able to keep people honest with their feet and be able to throw it all over the yard. So that's who we're going to be. That's who we're going to recruit to. And again, from a system standpoint, I got a good feeling we're going to be able to get who we need to get.
Coach Steve Robertson again. Where are you right now from a staffing standpoint? I know it's really just day one, but I know you probably had some people you spoke to before you came in, and what can you share with us about that?
Feel good about where we're at. As these next couple of days play out, there'll be some guys that get added to it. And I've been incredibly excited with how many people of great quality want to be a part of our staff, of this staff, and understand what the work environment's going to be about, understand what the leadership's going to be about, and understand that we're going to put players first. And so there's a lot of people that are raising their hand right now, which I'm incredibly thankful for, and it gives me great peace and great clarity that we're going to be able to put together an elite staff to be able to go do what we want to do.
Coach Stefan Kreshnik again with the Clarion Ledger. You talked about, out there with Dr. Keenum about the expanded playoff in Mississippi State, getting a chance to be in that. Why do you feel this is a program at this point that can, compete for a spot in that and compete, for higher aspirations than before?
Yeah, I think as we move forward, just understanding, one, how we're going to play offense. I think that's a big part of it, being able to score the way we're going to be able to score. And the next part of it, to me, is that there's great history of great players here. You can get not good but great players here to be able to go get it done, and it's happened before. Dr. Keenum talked a little bit about that, being in the SEC championship game. So for me, it's very real to be able to get that done. And again, it's all about building the thing the right way, creating great competitive depth from a roster standpoint, continuing to find the right pieces from a staffing standpoint, which we will. But it's a real thing to be able to have that kind of success right here.
Patrick Talbot with WTOK again. This question's for both of you. This seems like a match made in heaven, given your history. You were there at Oklahoma when he was brought on to Brent Venables' staff. Just kind of talk about, for both of you, why was this such a good fit for both of you?
I'll start and say probably haven't looked at it from, clearly it helps when you have an understanding of Coach Lebby and a trust in what he can do, because I've seen it, I've observed it. But I think for both of us, it's a great fit because of Mississippi State and the resources, the ingredients, everything that we have here that this doesn't work everywhere, but it works specifically at Mississippi State. And so that's what I'm so excited about. It just so happened as you're looking for the next leader of this program, it just so happened you have somebody that, again, you've observed, you've worked with, you understand. But I don't think it's more about, or it's about Jeff and I. I think it's all about, what kind of environment we have at Mississippi State that makes it a great fit.
For me, I wasn't the one doing the hiring, right? So as I had the ability to look at it, I loved all the positives. I loved, obviously, the conference that we're able to be a part of and go play in. I love the fact that we've got great proximity to players. I love the fact that there's great tradition and there's incredible support. But then for me, it did give me great clarity and peace to know that I was going to be able to go to work for someone that I care about and that I trust. And for me, that was a huge deal. I was in an incredible situation, but this was an absolute no-brainer because of leadership and all the other things that I mentioned. So just excited to be able to get it going.
Coach, David Edelstein from WJTV, the CBS station in Jackson. Mississippi State's been through a little bit of a change over the past year with another head coach and changing just kind of the systems. We all know that 2 years ago with Mike Leach, everything air raid was kind of the offense. What is it like from your experience having gone through different programs yourself to change and implement your own systems into a team and actually get that to take hold? What is that process like, and maybe how do you expect it to be the same or different from other experiences you've had now as head coach here?
Yeah, I think it all depends on what the roster is like and where it's at. Being able to have guys that are going to play in the fall, be a part of spring ball, is going to be a huge deal. Those 15 practices and being able to install the offense is going to be a huge deal for us being able to get ready in the fall. So my hope is that there's a huge part of our roster that we're playing with in September that's here in January. And I think if we're able to get that accomplished, we'll be able to get off on the right foot. We'll make it even harder, obviously, if you get those guys here in June, but we'll make it work if that's the case as well. I feel really good about, again, how we're going to go attack this thing and being able to get guys here in January so that, you know, we get off to a great start.
Jeff, I don't know if you've seen the tweets that Lane Kiffin has sent your way, whether it was the quote tweet of, you know, the photoshopped head on his photoshopped head on someone carrying your photoshopped head like the father-son, or him tweeting at you another way. But, you know, getting the Egg Bowl rivalry and kind of hatred started early. I don't know if you've seen that, if you had any thoughts on that and what you kind of thought of working with Lane and seeing him now on the other side of that rivalry.
I've seen it through text messages. I haven't actually seen it on Twitter. Believe it or not, I'm not incredibly surprised. And I got a feeling it's not going to be the last one. So, again, this is going to be fun. That one is going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait to get to work with our guys, create vision for them, be able to create, some steadiness, and just talked about it, but these guys have been through a lot. And so being able to give them, a calm hand is going to be a lot of fun for us as a staff, and these guys understanding that, they can come to us at any point in time and be able to share their experiences and understand that, again, we've got their back, we're here for them, and we're ready to go chase it together.
Coach Marcus Hunter, MSU Communications. Along those lines, as far as your past with the Ole Miss Rebels, you come here to Starkville, you are immediately handed a cowbell, you get off the plane ringing the cowbell, you get on the stage ringing a cowbell. Your honest thoughts about the cowbell now that you're the head coach of Mississippi State, knowing that you used to coach against Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the cowbell. So make no mistake about that. I'm a big fan of Mississippi State. I'm a big fan of having the opportunity to go lead these guys every single day, man. And I've said it over and over, but couldn't be more thankful, could not be more excited to be able to go chase this with everybody, with our entire fan base, with our locker room, with our leadership, with our entire staff. Again, we're doing this together, and that's what is, again, so exciting for me.
Jeff, we've talked a lot about, what these players have gone through in the past, 12 months or so. I guess what have you kind of gotten to learn about, those that are still on the roster and kind of how they've been resilient and overcome the things they have in the past 12 months or so?
Yeah, I think it speaks to who they are. I think it speaks to some of the older guys in the locker room, the way they played the last 2 weeks of the season, even with more change happening inside their locker room and from a leadership standpoint. So, again, as I get to know these guys, I'm figuring out in a hurry that we've got good people in that locker room. We've got good kids, and we've got guys that are serious about being really good, and that excites me to be able to continue to motivate those guys every single day and to get the most out of them and have the chance to take them, places that they can't take themselves. And that's, again, ultimately why they call us coach. So excited about that.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming back.